This is a reflection by Robusta Martina Osifo of Cell 5. St. Faustina's Prayer Life. St. Faustina's prayer life is a fervent and continuous dialogue with God, marked by deep trust in His mercy and a profound desire to reflect His love and compassion in her actions and words, especially through intercessory prayer for others. Prayer was the foundation of her vocation. When she was called during a dance by Jesus, she immediately went to the church to pray, and it was while she was praying that Jesus told her to go to Warsaw. She writes, "I rose from prayer, came home, and took care of things that needed to be settled." Diary 10. She received her mission in prayer and carried it out in continuous prayer to God. Her love for prayer was so great when she entered the convent God told her to be. Consequently, she became disturbed when she felt there was little time for prayer in the convent. She had resolved to leave the congregation for a new one, but Jesus told her not to do so. Here, we find how her deep love for prayer is gradually purified from self-will. Confer, Diary 18 to 19. She knew how to pray in moments of consolation and when she was dry. Confer, Diary 23. Her prayer life was characterized by a strong focus on intercession for the sick, sinners, the church, her country, and the whole world, with a particular concern for the suffering and those in purgatory. In Diary 41, she writes how on an occasion she saw a servant of God in danger of committing a mortal sin. She prayed for him and was grateful that Jesus heard her prayers. Her prayers were particularly fervent for the souls in purgatory. Many of them appeared to her to solicit her prayers. She willingly did this with a sense of urgency and sacrifice. The same goes for dying souls for whom she always prays. Her calling to pray for souls is most evidenced when she notes in Diary 155, "I sense it in my soul when some soul asks me for prayer, even though they do not speak to me about it. The feeling is one of certain disquiet, as if someone were calling me, and when I pray, I obtain peace." Now in heaven, St. Faustina will do more for us when we ask for her prayers. For St. Faustina, we should do everything with prayer. It is our weapon in battle, strength to foster purity, and in fact, the source of all graces. She sums these up in her edifying admonition on prayer in Diary 146. A soul arms itself by prayer for all kinds of combat. In whatever state the soul may be, it ought to pray. A soul which is pure and beautiful must pray, or else it will lose its beauty. A soul which is striving after this purity must pray, or else it will never attain it. A soul which is newly converted must pray, or else it will fall again. A sinful soul plunged in sins must pray so that it might rise again. There is no soul which is not bound to pray, for every single grace comes to the soul through prayer. Indeed, every single grace comes to the soul through prayer. Here, one could recall some words from St. Alphonsus Liguori. "He who prays is saved. He who prays not is damned." St. Faustina also admonishes that in order to have a strong prayer life, we should learn to persevere in prayer. Perseverance demands patience. This patience entails that we cope bravely with exterior and interior difficulties. The interior difficulties are discouragement, dryness, heaviness of spirit, and temptations. The exterior difficulties are human respect and time. One must observe the time set apart for prayer. Diary 147. Here, our polished saint hands us one of the most important virtues in building a prayer life. Observe the time set apart for prayer. If we do not keep to the time we have set aside for prayers, if we change or reduce our prayer times at will, either because we feel distracted or we think there are other more important things to do, we will not be able to cultivate a stable prayer life. Hence, one of the most important modifications we need to do is always keep to our prayer time, especially in moments of dryness, desolation, or when we do not feel like praying. These are the moments God finds his faithful friends, just as they are moments where the devil is most eager to draw us away from God. She believed in God's mercy and encouraged others to trust God in the face of suffering and doubts. Her prayers were focused on aligning her will with God's will for us, seeking and carrying out the will of God. Her prayers, such as the Divine Mercy Chaplet, were said regularly to cultivate a deeper relationship with God and invoke His mercy for the salvation of souls. In sum, we could say that prayer characterized all that Saint Faustina did. She was always immersed in God in prayer. She was a contemplative who knew how to talk to God every time and on all occasions. She prayed within and outside the chapel. She spoke to Jesus like a friend, a daughter, and a spouse. The prayer life of Saint Faustina inspires me. It is an invitation to make the necessary sacrifice of praying daily, especially in accordance with the norms of our plan of life. Her emphasis on keeping to the time set apart for prayer is a golden lesson for all those who wish to learn how to pray and persevere in prayer. Saint Faustina prayed in and out of season. By this, she teaches us that we can pray in moments of consolation and desolation. We should not be discouraged from doing our daily meditation because we will be distracted or dry. We go to seek God in prayer and not ourselves. Therefore, we should go to prayer to present ourselves the way we are to God. A child remains a child in the arms of his parents, whether he is distracted or attentive. Let us learn to go to prayer, to be with Jesus, stay with Him, and waste time with Him. Saint Faustina, as you now enjoy complete union with God in heaven, please pray for us to pray always and perseveringly so that we too can have a strong prayer life like you.
Jesus, I trust in you.